Pounders, welcome back. Today we're going to be diving into the last fun week of Battle Royale on Underdog, the conference championships. I think we have some pretty good info here coming up. And I like to start by jumping into, let's do the team totals, the game totals here. 49ers are going to be, man, they have heavy implied totals here, like 31.5. Just about. And then everyone else is pretty equal after that. You have the Ravens with around 24. But trying to think, just taking a step back from players and just trying to think of game scripts of how these games are going to go, where they're going to attack the opposing defense. This game could blow up. I could see Ravens Chiefs going under 51. I mean, they have a high total, but you could see this game blowing up. And then if Debo is out, the offense becomes a little more condensed. And what's crazy is Elijah Mitchell, he ends up doing nothing last week after being a week 17 bro, making everyone panic. He gets overdrafted again for the playoff slates. And they just cross him out. They just completely cross him out. So that's a tough one to figure out. That really is. That really is. But Baltimore Ravens, little surprise here for receiver snaps. We have Rashad Bateman getting the second most snaps. Second most snaps. I mean, how much does it mean? Nelson Aguilar gets in the end zone last week. But Odell Beckham sort of taking a back seat. So this is something to note for sure. Running backs, it looked like Gus Edwards got a little beat up. He ends up leaving the game, at least for a little bit last week. And yeah, I'm currently drafting Hill over Gus Edwards, even though I believe Edwards goes before him. And I guess the field's drafting Rashad Bateman too over these guys. So that is sharp by the field. Juwan Jennings probably goes a little too late. I'd put him over a good amount of these guys, especially if we think Debo's not going to play. And Debo left the game before halftime and didn't return in a must-win playoff game. Close game. They were losing. I'm personally leaning on the side that Debo doesn't play right now. So that's going to bump up Ayuk for me. That's going to bump up Kittle for me as well, above Kelsey. And then if we make another concentrated bet that Mark Andrews doesn't play, and we'll see. He got 2 full practices in last week. Remember, he started, I believe, like did not play, and he went to limited, and then got 2 full practices. So if we make that bet that Andrews doesn't play, though, and now this is currently flipped. I feel like this wasn't like this yesterday, even when I sent it out to the Patreon members. Andrews was in front of Likely. So you were seeing Likely really not get drafted a whole lot in these 3-man slates. And the 3-man slates are where it's at this week. Really is. You can do some fun stuff on those. Let's do some quick hellos. Who do we have in the chat? Andrew, congrats. Big congrats to Andrew. I think he came in, 4th or 6th in last week's Battle Royale? Crazy sweat that is at the end. Every catch, every yard for running backs matter. It's pretty wild. Nick, what's going on? ER7 was in here early. 7:46 a.m. his first comment for the boys. Investor Better, what's going on, man? Yeah. Likely's projection was messed up. It was a 2.2. He was below all of those receivers. So if we go back here, he was below this whole group of wide receivers. He was going undrafted. I thought we were going to be able to get that again today. Too bad. Because that was a pretty crazy edge for yesterday drafters. And I believe it came, Monday. So we'll see what these rooms do now. I won't be surprised because ADP drafters and just the way that psychology works. And then being able to see him on the screen will make him much more drafted. But we already had a $3 draft fill, I believe. I believe it was called the Hurry Up. I'll take a peek at my drafts. I only got 2 in just to get a little feel for the slate and sort of see where the advantages are. And I feel like I didn't need to do more than 2. Purdy, CMC, Ayuk, Debo, Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews. So this is obviously just like high T. And then Purdy, CMC, Pacheco, Ayuk, Flowers, Sam Laporta. Don't report me. Don't report me. The Hurry Up. So this one already filled. This was a $3.40 entry max, 2K to first. And draft size was 3. But I remember on this one, I tried getting Likely. Likely did go before Andrews, even though he was all the way down there. Now, if that's the case, if Likely was available and I was like last pick or second to last pick, whatever, and that team, the last team couldn't draft a tight end, probably is worth going Andrews and then pick swapping to Likely, especially if you're doing a 2 tight end build. It's going to be less common than, just single Likely. Like those teams that pick swap from Andrews to Likely, how many of those teams actually have another tight end? It's probably going to be, I would say, under 25%. So, and I was cool with that. If that was going to be chalky, that was my way to sort of get around it. So yeah, I do have to note, like, there is no Likely in this room. So when I'm doing pick swaps, so this is like, I'll have to do another flex, which is fine. Maybe we go Jawan Jennings if Debo's not. This team could just be completely dead. But I like to draft like that. That's where you can find some of your advantages if some of these players do end up playing. And it's early in the week, and we know the early Q tags. That's what you're supposed to attack. Let's start with the Sunday knockout. Paulie, welcome to the live stream. Yeah, duo tight end feels extremely strong. It really, really does. And then sort of going tight end last, just because there's 4 strong tight ends available. Tight end last feels really good in these rooms. Running backs fall off, so I do want to get one of these 3. That feels the best. QBs, I don't mind going last as well. And then wide receivers. So like this will be multiplied even heavier for me in the 4-man rooms is okay. Sort of give me my QB last. You can go tight end last in those rooms too, but sometimes people double bang tight end. So I have to keep an eye out for that. And then running backs can fall off pretty quick. I don't know how comfortable I am just going solo Justice Hill. But dudes, Elijah Mitchell, 0 touches against Green Bay. They just crossed this man directly out of the game plan. It's so wild. It's so wild. Hey, they got the dub. All right, Justice Hill gets 15 touches last week. It says roll slips, but I feel like they missed the injury. I'm not making that up, right? Like Gus Edwards ended up getting hurt last week. Let's pull up the snaps. He played 34%. I mean, Justice Hill's been out there for the majority. So for me, this is probably just Pacheco Ayuk, or Pacheco Lamar is fine too. But if we don't go Ayuk and we go QB here, wide receivers are going to fall off fast with these teams having 4 picks. If the 3 spot goes QB and I'm in the 2 or the 1, I'm just jamming wide receivers and running backs. And I assume Lamar goes here to one of these 2 picks. So from the 3 spot, I really do feel like betting on just not floor outcomes for the QBs, but just maybe pretty flat scoring. And that's where you sort of find your advantage. Now, this can be Lamar, and I think that's completely fine. And it is. And then we're going to go Flowers, have a little mini stack with KC, and we're going to bring in tight end. So I don't want Likely and Zay Flowers. I think I still have to do this. I think I still have to do this. Sam Laporte is not coming back to us. So if we end up going Mahomes, we can bring in one of my least favorite plays. It really is. It really is at this point. He just feels so low upside. See, this, in my opinion, should be this guy can't go running back. This should be Sam Laporta. This pick right here, I feel like that's a huge mistake. The one spot can't go running back. If you want Montgomery, he could have got him here for free. And then you go double tight end. So now this player has to score more points than Laporta for this to make sense. And who is it likely? You know? Justin Watson did. Yeah. I guess that's fine. Let's make the bet that Debo doesn't end up playing. I think that makes it just feels better than Mahomes here against Baltimore for me. Like Kelsey can still end up tight end 1 on the slate. And Pacheco scored a touchdown 4 straight games. So he obviously has a big role in the red zone, and he's going to need to continue that role against Baltimore too. That one felt good. Fifth for 5Gs. That's a nice little bankroll booster. That's what we like to call it, a little bankroll booster. Just in time for the big board, which is going to be coming out what? In the next month? In the next 6 weeks? 5 weeks? We'll have that normal draft guide up for those interested. All right, let's jump into another one of those. The Sunday knockout. 5K to first, 2,500 to second. Nice size too, 11,000 entrants. Going to be much easier to sort of spike into the top 10 in this type of contest versus like the 40,000, 44,000. Then you end up getting a ton of splits too when there's too many drafted. And here we get the 1 spot ER7 and the 2 spot. Shout out to him. CMC start will be fun. So the last one pushed QB. I think it pretty much went as expected, minus that David Montgomery pick over Sam Laporta, but can likely outscore Sam Laporta in a single game slate. Sure. You got a big brain. That's why we got the emoji there. Not for me, for you guys. Starts in 10. Let's pull this up real quick. Kansas City, where are we at? Yeah, MVS getting the second most snaps, which is like, who cares at this point? It's pretty gross for all these receivers minus Rice. Lamar goes at 2. St. Brown and Rice is a nice start. Goes Pacheco. Okay, so we're gonna get the San Fran stack, and then we're gonna bring in Gibbs here. Let's do this. Let's see how this looks. This kid also, instead of Gibbs, can be Flowers. But I want to get this game stack with Detroit. And this probably ends up being another Juwan Jennings team with Purdy. But we'll see. Yeah, double tap and tight end there makes the most sense. He's basically already boxed at running back. I have 2, so I can't go another. He's planning on ER7 not going Hill or Montgomery, I guess. But yeah, he can get one of Hill or Montgomery guaranteed. Not that that feels like amazing. Who's he have? He has Kittle, so he can go Purdy. He has the bring back. And our team really only makes sense right now with Purdy. Sure, we have Goff with Gibbs, but seems thin. See what ER7 does here. So this is a 0 risk Debo pick. You have to go Debo here, and then you can just pick swap, right? If he ends up playing, if he plays half a game, give me half a game Debo. Give me a 1/4 game Debo over anyone left on the board. So we get a free pick swap there. I think that makes the most sense to do in that scenario. So there are a lot of little nuances to this slate that you can find little advantages, and if you do enough of these, you should be able to take advantage of those. Then Mahomes being here in the second, like I'm personally probably like this. I'd have Purdy ranked over Mahomes just in strict points. But calculations in my brain versus underdog scoring. I don't know. Trust who you want. Trust who you want. Gibbs. How many touches? I know Montgomery averaged like 2 yards per carry. Yeah, another like 3 yard per carry game. Who do you guys like better? Let me know in the chat. Justice Hill this week or David Montgomery? Justice Hill against KC or David Montgomery versus San Fran? For me personally, I might be going Hill over Montgomery. You're betting on a touchdown with Monty. You're betting on a touchdown. I feel like Debo's 1,000% playing, but you didn't draft him. You had the chance to draft. You had the chance to take him, basically free pick swap. All right, let's go Monra here at 2. He's playing because you didn't take him. I saw it on the leak script. Give me a copy, man. Give me a copy. This would be so much easier. Deep in thought here in the 3 spot. Deep in thought. Dak for MVP. Yeesh. Yeesh. When you want to hide your underdog name. Okay. This is going to be Ayuk. Pretty simple for us. We don't gotta do anything crazy here. Again, like San Fran having a 32 and a half point implied total. This team's gonna put up some points. Yeah, I was kind of hoping he didn't go Gibbs. So we'll just put off. We can do a few things in this spot, I guess. If we go Sam Laporta, we're making that bet on Detroit. Let's do 3 wide receivers. It's gonna be less owned. He can't take both Sam Laporta and Likely. So that's sort of my reasoning there. And then if Sam Laporta does go, we have a little mini stack with Rice and Likely. Oh shit. It was worth the gamble. Holy shit. So this guy can't go tight end. That's important to note. This guy can't go tight end because he already has his flex. He already has his second running back. So we can basically just get Lamar for free here. This is a free Lamar pick. And then we can safely pull in Sam Laporta. Damn. Gamble, welcome to the live stream, man. This team's getting thrown out. Oh, shit. This one's getting thrown out, boys. This one's getting thrown out. He brings in Purdy. He has no receivers, bro. How? How? What happened? What happened for him to get to this point? Damn, JMO first wide receiver off the board. It's got to be Sam Laporta from us, which is fine. Like Lamar can get in the end zone, on the ground, still end up having a bigger day than Goff with 2 of his pass catchers. I'm sorry. Brain fart. Complete. Pretty wild though. So we have this mini stack here. Double. Yeah, that's wild. Typically, if you're bringing in 2 pass catchers, you're betting on that QB being the QB1. But with a rushing QB, like he can still surpass. And this has to be Justice Hill, in my opinion. Like Gus Edwards, even if he does end up, playing his 30-40%, it's still a negative correlated bet with Lamar, especially with naked Lamar. You're making the bet that he gets those rushing teddies. So this has to be an RB. He goes Monty. At least Justice Hill catches, 3-4 balls. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that one game where he catches a touchdown. Yeah, these rooms are like the wild, wild west right now. They really are. And as you know, like as it gets closer to like Super Bowl, people are more willing to bet money on these games. They want to have an investment in these games if they don't have a team to root for. So you get a lot of people that are just like in here as fans. Yeah. Pay D, welcome to the live stream, man. I've seen some cashes from you this year. It says 3-player lobbies are always so wonky. Like, how does that guy not pull in a receiver? And that's where like 3 wide receiver starts are going to be a little more rare, especially we had the top 3 receivers on the board, assuming Debo didn't play. So just trying to figure out how to make that work. I think that was worth it. And then we got Lamar at like 17. So it could just be thrown out, to be honest. That one could be thrown out. I feel like a lot of drafts are going to be thrown out this week. See what we get here at 2. Give us CMC here. Go Lamar. Be a man. All right. We'll go Amon-Ra again. What do you guys think? Is it gonna be a 101 type week, like 101 or bust? Like you need CMC? What are your guys' feels? Because it always has the potential for that when Amon-Ra goes at I mean, when, yeah, when Amon-Ra when CMC goes at 1. Okay, we'll do the same start with Amon-Ra and Ayuk and see if we can well, we're already gonna get different because Lamar got drafted. So, ideally, we would get Gibbs here in this position and then get Kittle. That's already gone. Now it's double gone. I mean, if you're gonna give us the same 3 wide receiver start, we'll just do it. And again, like Rice will open us up for Mahomes or Purdy. So we're last picking QB at this point. This is double tight end, maybe. We can't go receiver. And I say this is where we bring in Amon-Ra. Now we can bring in Goff too. And we have this stack. So this might be a Goff team. This room's drafting a lot quicker. This is my vibe. This is a lot better vibe here in this room. We can't go double tight end. We already have our flex. In this scenario, where we have a double stack with Goff, like out of thin air, he just pulls Goff. Man 97. About to get my first Goff share. And he said, hell no, you're not. You're going to draft the better player. That's what you're going to do. God damn it. Would have, it's a good spot to bring in Goff there. We're already making a bet on this offense, making a bet on this game. But this is fine too. Purdy can spread it out to enough people that this could work. Another Justice Hill team. So I feel like Gibbs in this spot, if you go Gibbs, you can't go tight end here. Right? Like you need to bring in your first receiver. Otherwise, you get boxed at receiver and it doesn't feel good when you're drafting from 1. And when someone else goes QB, it makes it easier, in my opinion. Like, I feel like he has to go Rice there, whether he likes it or not. All right, we'll do one more of these and we'll switch over to the 4-man slate and sort of see the vibe in those rooms. Get the 2 spot again with 2 badgeless people. How could this go wrong? Underdog is alive and well. Underdog is alive and well. We can go Pacheco. Like, I can't. I can't click Pacheco over Monra, especially when it just falls off so quick at receivers. You need minimum 2. And there's still a small chance that you can get a Monra and Pacheco. $20 Hail Mary, is that a single entry? I'll take a peek at some of the other contests too. I know there's some single entries, the victory formation that I want to jump into. We'll do some of those on stream. There's no way he passes on CMC, right? Big swig. Give him to us. Oh my God. We just committed a crime. Don't. CMC Amon-Ra? Definitely thrown out. Like before the draft. Guys, the stream's ending. This never happened. You didn't see anything. You close your eyes. Close your eyes. Knew me? Go away. That's a start. That's what badge this room. Anything can happen, and we get Ayuk. No, no, it can't be. Like we can't. But we do go Rice here, and then we just take what we get at tight end. Come on, man. I can't not take it. It's gonna get thrown out, but I can't not take it. Come on. Come on. This can't be serious. We can't be doing this right now. These guys, you gotta respect it. Go out and get your guys. Juwan Jennings and J-Mo and Nelson Aguilar and whoever else is your guy. Oh. There's no way. Like, okay. I'm going to cash out. I'm not going to be greedy. I'll take $4,500. I'll take $4,500 today. We'll just cash out here. Tossed. Dude, I've never seen Quan in the comments. This draft just made him make an account, sign in to YouTube, subscribe. Nez, you didn't see anything, bro. You didn't see anything. Yeah, if I got Laporta there, I would have reported myself, to be honest. But this is likely. This is likely. Could risk it on Debo too. I don't feel like we need to. If this guy already had his flex, or if he couldn't go a second tight end, I would probably risk it on Debo. Reason being, like, I don't think he goes Debo there. So so he doesn't go tight end. So if we went Debo there, we would have got a free pick swap to Likely or Andrews for this team. Damn it. Like we would have got, in my opinion, we would have got Likely. These guys are going crazy right now. All right, well, since we won that contest, we're gonna go on to the next one. Let's go to the Sunday Brawl. This is gonna be a $5 4-man draft size. Again, $5K to first, similar payouts. That's wild. That's nuts. Dude, these comments are wild. These comments are wild. Hey, let's go. Congrats, man. Absolutely congrats. Just hang in there. You're gonna take some punches. All is well until they start going daycare. Dude, we've been sick for the last 3 months, and that's why I didn't do a stream last week. I was hurting, the kiddo was hurting. It's amazing though. Really is. It's amazing. You draft less, which might be a good thing. The 3-man drafts are just a wild place right now. The 3-man drafts are a wild place. I feel like I got a few teams today where they probably shouldn't be allowed, but they're gonna be higher. Like some of those teams who drafted today are gonna be higher than 1% owned, so they're not gonna be thrown out. But CMC Monroe with Ayuk. This is Pacheco for me in the 3 spot. Let's get that running back out of the way. Probably not doubling up on running back in this position. Give us Ayuk here. It doesn't really feel good to go double KC. So thank you very much. All you have to do is ask, guys. Like if you just ask, you just say it out loud, speak it into existence. Works for me. Pacheco Ayuk. Debo off the board early. Which if he plays, he should be going in this spot. So it's just basically risk management. But I feel like you can push him most times because he falls. Here comes back-to-back tight ends from us. This is where the 2 tight end strategy feels really strong. This guy doesn't have a receiver yet, and he gives us Laporta. Rashad Bateman. Something like this. Making the bet that Debo doesn't play. Okay. Brings in Justice Hill, Mark Andrews. I like that. Don't go Purdy. Don't do it. You have Amon-Ra. Fuck. This is a Purdy pick, isn't it? He goes Mahomes. All right, he goes Mahomes with Kelsey. Makes sense. Beautiful. We don't need to go Purdy here. He already has his QB, so we can go Juwan Jennings. And this is just a super stack of San Fran pieces, which I'm definitely okay with. But again, it sort of does feel like a one. Feels like a CMC type week. I like the team, but it still feels like you end up with all the San Fran pieces besides CMC. It's like, eh. All right. We'll do another one of these. Dude, I'm not going to lie. The 3-man rooms are way more fun. They're way, way more fun. Adam's dog's sick. We need more pics of Adam's dog in the hangout section on Discord. Ness says, I never like to draft when I'm sick either. Funny enough. Yeah, it's tough. Tough. You gotta be locked in. You gotta be in a good spot, in your happy place. When you're sick, it's the opposite. Shout out to TD King. Also, TD King had that's Andrew. I was gonna say all these usernames, Underdog, Twitter, YouTube, trying to put them all together, especially if they're different. So we get the 4 spot here. We'll see who we end up getting as a flex. But again, going QB last sort of seems like the way in the 4 spot. Unless maybe we'll see what comes to us. We'll see what comes to us. Do you guys think Mark Andrews ends up playing? He had 2 full practices to end the week last week. Obviously, did not play in the game. Another week goes by. They get KC. Or do you think they end up just saving him for a potential Super Bowl? Because that spread on that game is a lot closer. It's going to be 3.5 points versus. Okay, so we're going to get Pacheco Ayuk again. Honestly, it's one of these two with Ayuk, in my opinion. Gibbs off the board. So this guy's going to get boxed at wide receiver, especially if he doesn't get Flowers to come back to him, which he shouldn't because the 1 spot double clicks. This is where it really starts to fall off, right? Is after these guys go off the board. We're guaranteed 2 of them right now, which is exactly what happened last draft, right? We ended up getting Kittle last draft with this build. Kelsey off the board. Yeah, so he double taps receiver, so this guy's double screwed. Like, double screwed. Yeah. We're gonna double click this. Again, I'm gonna go QB last 90% of the time, just about, unless obviously, like, you get a Lamar fall. You get a Lamar fall to the 3rd round. That's when I'm starting to think about bringing in Lamar. Josh Reynolds off the board at 14. Like, I'm completely especially where we bring in this Detroit piece, I'm okay with getting Goff last pick. We have our mini stack here. We have our game stack. We do get the choice to bring in Purdy here. Now we take a peek at TD King's team, and does Purdy make sense for his team? Like, not really. He's probably Goff over Purdy with this team. So we could probably just get Purdy with our oh, we're double clicking here anyways. Forgot we're in the 4 spot. All right. Again, I'm probably just gonna make a heavy bet that Debo doesn't play. And even if he does play, like Juwan Jennings can still outscore this whole group of guys. MVS, I feel like should be a little higher. Like I'm low. I'm super low on MVS, but even I think he should be higher than a couple of these guys. I'd probably put him like above Tony. This could be a Bateman click too. Who do you guys like better for this build? Bateman or Jennings? Obviously, Jennings would be, and again, we already have likely. Having 2 pass catchers on Baltimore doesn't feel great, especially when we have Purdy. Yeah. I think it's gotta be Jennings here. I think it's gotta be Jennings. So a little different variation. Basically the same draft as last one, but instead of Kittle likely, we got Sam Laporta likely. Could be that just little difference. There's gotta be dupes this week. There has to be. There has to be. Unless, obviously, a scroll down pick, MVS +1, Khalif Raymond. If one of these random guys hit, McCole Hardman fumbling the ball into the end zone, ending up with minus points. All right. What are some of the other contests we have here? We have the Bomb, which I know Nez loves. Where's the single entries? Single entry hole in one. Nope, we're not doing golf. Onside kick, 5 entry max. This one looks good, but 1K to first. We're trying to make $1 billion. GPP, bros. Gotta chase the freaking dream. Gotta chase the dream. Single entry Hail Mary. Winner takes all. Oh, okay. 456 entrants. I like that. This is a 3-person draft. Don't jump in this with me. I don't want. I want my room to be. I'm not drafting one on stream. I want that to be the softest room in the world. That's gonna be a 3 a.m. draft. 5 max. 2K to first. Let's mess with one of these. Waiting on 2. Ends up being a sharp room, but whatever. We'll see if this fills. We'll give it a couple minutes. And we'll jump into the extra point, the single entry. Waiting on 2. What day is it? I get it. People are working. Hmm. Come on. Come on, babies. All right. We'll do our single entries. Oh, the extra point. Here it is. Let's go. Let's go. Andrew in the one spot. Ooh. Feels good. Feels good on the single entry. Feels good. Ooh, got text the wifey. All right. So we're going to Monra. We'll get a Monra. Hopefully we get a Monra Ayuk. This would be ideal. Obviously a Monra Pacheco. But I doubt that happens. His run good continues, folks, with the one spot in the single entry. $2,200. Nice. Fun contest. Shout out to Nooms, Hope, everyone else working at Underdog. They're coming out with these 3 max, 5 max, 20 max, 40 max, whatever it is. It's good to have different variations. He goes Lamar at 3. So we are going to get one of these two. And it's Pacheco. Sick. That's good. We'll take that. That's already going to be less owned than Amon-Ra Ayuk. So I'm cool with that. He goes Gibbs. This guy gets boxed at RB real quick. We're probably going to go Flowers here. Welcome to getting boxed at receiver. Does he double tap tight end? He does. We have an easy click with Laporta. In a 3-man draft too, how many people are going to be bringing in Goff? So we might just make the bet that Goff outscores Purdy this week, which I like to do more when I have CMC, right? Like who scores points in San Fran's offense? Fuck. Like, kind of have to in this spot. Kind of have to. Now I can bring in Purdy, but I'm probably still going to go Goff. Let's still go Goff. With Debo, it does make a little more sense. Obviously, he needs to play for any of this to be real. But where he can steal a rushing touchdown from CMC, also Purdy not getting the throwing points on that. This is going to be important, though. I need to see who he takes with this last pick. So I pulled up the draft board on a separate screen to make sure I can see who he ends up taking, because it's going to be important for my pick swap. He ends up going MVS. Perfect. So I get a free pick swap from Debo to Juwan Jennings if Debo doesn't play for this room specifically. Not that like, oh, wow, that team's sick. Like, it's not. But it hurts it a lot more if Juwan Jennings goes and we end up with Debo who doesn't play. At least it still has a chance. All right, so that's one single entry down. You know, it's been a while since we had the one spot. I must say. Must say. Where is the Let's go back to the Sunday knockout. We'll do a couple more of these. See if we can get another crazy combo. Refresh this. This team's this team's nutty. Some of these are strong. The Justice Hill teams are like kind of whatever. Dude, it's early. It's early. 4 Purdy teams though. There it is. You gotta call your shots, boys. And you gotta ask for it. Otherwise, it just will never give you the one spot, man. You gotta ask. Dare to be different with the MVS pick. No, 100%. Um, like how often is he getting clicked? Like at what rate? Especially in a single entry, people tend to draft more safe. That's why I like to go Goff there. Where it's like, okay, whatever. If like Purdy's the better click, like obviously I'm clicking Purdy over Goff in a lot of these. But where we had the double piece in Detroit too, it makes sense to do that. Hockey Hooligan goes Lamar at 2. I'm gonna end up grabbing a lot of Lamar as the week goes on. If Pacheco's still there, we go Pacheco. He might go Rice in this spot, but we'll see. From the one spot here, though, you need to come out with at least one receiver. Otherwise, you're dead. He goes Pacheco. Let's go Rice and Flowers. Copper prices. Shout out to Connor in the live stream. In this spot, we're hoping someone doesn't double tap tight end, basically. Like that's probably the best outcome for the one spot right here is when these teams, one of these two teams, like no one takes 2 tight ends. Then you can double tap tight end. You get a QB of whoever falls to you last. And where he has Lamar, we have, I guess you could pair CMC with Purdy and then Rice. We have Mahomes available too. So we don't really care who comes back to us. This would be nice though. Sure, we're going to double stack. We're going to end up double stacking here with Baltimore, but I think it's fine. Don't think I would do much different. And then whoever comes back to us at QB, Connor's probably he goes Goff over Purdy. Okay. I guess we just go Mahomes. We can go either way. We have a game stack either way, right? With Laporta, CMC. This would definitely be unique. I'm going Purdy here. I have to stop clicking Purdy. That's 5 out of 6 drafts. I'll get off the click eventually, but right now, that team felt more unique going Purdy there than Mahomes. Plus, I don't know if I just have that much confidence that KC puts up, over expected points on Baltimore's defense versus, Purdy, who could end up as the QB1 on the slate. I don't have as much confidence in Mahomes, so Lamar's been absolutely balling. I have to find a way to get more Lamar, whether that means bumping him up. But again, I third round Lamar feels really strong. Like, you might have a ton of teams that end up cashing because of Lamar, because you picked him at 3 or 2 or 4 or whatever. But you're also gonna be playing against those teams that get a double tap of these 2 skill position players, right? Your combo of these guys plus Lamar, right? And I am trying to get first place. Like, when I do these, I'm not trying to, like, get in the top 50, get in the top 100. Like, you wanna find that outcome that gives you top 5, top 10. Obviously, that's where all the money is in these. It falls off quick. I like this setup, though. Yeah, so, like, 50th gives you $80. Lamar goes at 3. This is interesting. And this is where, like, if we go Gibbs, we end up getting box at receiver, and you're basically shit. Well, now we have to go Pacheco. But in my opinion, then you have to go Flowers here. Honestly, I'd probably rather this variation of KC versus Baltimore with Pacheco on the ground against Baltimore and then Zay Flowers rather than like Rice. We'll see who our second receiver ends up being. This might be one where it's like we take the shot on Debo. We can't double tap tight end with this build because we already have our flex, which means ideally we'll get one of these two, and we are. We'll take Kittle. Thank you very much. No such luck. Let's bring in Debo here. This guy can go either way. He goes Mahomes. Perfect. Surprise, we get Purdy again. And we'll see if we get a free pick swap to Juwan Jennings. I think we built some good teams today. I'm comfortable with this being the last one. If you guys enjoyed tonight's live stream, please go down, slap the like on the live stream, hit the sub. If you guys aren't already subbed to the channel, pretty soon we'll be doing the big board content when it comes out. That draft guide will be available roughly about 3 weeks after the contest opens. I like the ADPs to adjust a little bit. Otherwise, the guide just like goes right out the door. So let's say like April 1st. Let's say April 1st, the draft guide will be locked and loaded. The first variation that's gonna be available on Patreon. It's also gonna be available as a YouTube membership, probably the higher tier. I think it's like $5 or something. You also get those sick emojis. Let's go. And yeah, that's gonna do it from us, folks. We'll be back. I'm gonna try to get another live stream in tomorrow. And we'll see if we can get a guest for that show. But right now, undetermined. Connor, have a good night. Thanks for drafting with me. And yeah, guys, we'll catch you tomorrow. Pounders.